Hey, what up, YouTube? I just want to make a quick update. And maybe not so quick, maybe a discussion between myself and the world. But I want to talk about what's next plans for sure in this channel, more importantly, me. So I had like a midlife lifting crisis the other day. I was Olympic lifting and I had enjoyed it. I've done it for about a year and a couple months at this point. I was having some fun with it, and then I was at the peaking phase of my program and it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel click. A lot of the lifts I was doing felt all right. I hit a PR here or there, and then, my best snatch ended up being 165, and my bench clean and jerk was a 215, all on the channel. But as I was peaking for the maxing lifts in 2 weeks, I just didn't feel necessarily like I was enjoying what the fuck I was doing. And that kind of matters to me. I wasn't really having fun with it. The original reason I left powerlifting was because I wasn't enjoying it, right? So I moved into Olympic lifting because it was something cool and something unique and something I could teach myself. And within the year, I'd say I taught myself pretty damn well, enough to like actually do a decent snatch and actually enough to do a decent clean and jerk. Even competed a couple times, even though my best numbers aren't in competition, for Olympic lifting at least. But the midlife crisis really started when I saw Omar Isov. He uploaded a video, it's like 2.5 minutes long, and it's deadlifting 610 pounds. And to be honest, he looked like he did it pretty easily. But in my head, most people know that my favorite lift ever, and I haven't done it in about a year, is deadlifts. Deadlifts were literally the blood and soul of this channel for a long time. People who were with me for 200 subscribers, 100 subscribers, they remember the road to 500 pounds and how that took me a year and a half of solid hard work to get to 500 pounds. It also took me to bloat max. It took me a lot to get to my goal. Granted, the reason I bring it all up is because after seeing Omar's video, I kind of want to go for 600 pounds in competition. That means I'm coming back to what got me into lifting to begin with. That means low bar squats, that means bench press, that means a lot. But here's the thing, and I know a lot of people are thinking, didn't you quit? Didn't you say you're going to do this for another year in the last video? Yes and no. I was enjoying it to a point, but there comes a certain point of diminishing returns where I can only teach myself so much on the Olympic lifts. Like, I got my snatch down to be consistent. I can snatch 135 pounds any day of the week. I can snatch 150 kind of any day of the week. And realistically, I can snatch PRs maybe every 2 weeks. And while it's fun, while it's cool, it isn't my passion. And it's also really a lot of work for a sport nobody gives two fucks about, in a sport that is good, but it doesn't make me want to come to the gym, or at least to this point in my life. I've been spending, like I said in the last video, like 2-3 hours sessions 5 days a week in the gym for Olympic lifting for lifts that weren't really going to the craziest tops. I enjoyed what I did, but I also think I need to have a life. So I'm going back to strength training with the goal of a 600-pound deadlift. Now, how am I going to get there? I think is what everybody's saying. I remember the road to 500 was a long way. Well, I have two things in my back pocket here. One is that Olympic lifting did make me do a lot of movements I never used to do when I was back in strictly strength training. High bar squats, front squats, cleans, snatches. Now, even good mornings, things I never used to do. I got pretty decent at them within the year. Now, people might be wondering, why is that important? Well, one, cleans are basically an alternate version of deadlifts, and they really work your upper back, and they really work your quads. Front squats go with that too. And then high bar squats are different position squats that I used to never do. I got pretty decent at high bar squats, which are going to transition well into low bar squats when I go back to it and get accustomed back to doing it. Now, the deadlift, that's the plan. It's still going to be hook grip. That's my fucking favorite grip. But I'm banking on the cleans and snatches, and those are going to give me a little bit of head start. And I didn't lose most of my strength. I'm still pretty strong. It's just I haven't practiced that movement, so a little bit of practice with heavy singles. I think I can probably peak out a 430 deadlift right now, and that's without any practice. So the plan for me here is to go back on squatting 3 to 4 times a week, deadlifting twice a week. I really, really, really want a 600-pound deadlift, and I kind of am trying to go for a 315 bench, because when I left powerlifting, my best bench in competition was 270. And another guy who I was watching, and I like his videos, is Revival Fitness. He uploaded on a short. I didn't realize he finally fucking did it. It was a 315 bench, and that's something he's been working on for like 2 years. And I saw that shit, and I said to myself, fuck me. I left at 270. What kind of bitch am I, right? Like, I have to go back and I have to finish things that were loose ends. And to a certain extent, I needed the break from powerlifting. It was just a sport that was draining at a time where my life wasn't okay with coming to the gym and warming up for 2.5 hours to a heavy max. I'm at a point where in Olympic lifting, I was taking 2 to 3 hours each session 5 times a week. And now that's okay. I'm okay doing that now. Like, there's no issue. Before, back in when I was a bit chubbier, when I pulled 500, coming to the gym 3 times a week, even in my garage, is a fucking task. Like, I had homework, I had work, I had a bunch of shit going on. Now I graduated. I only have work, and I come back home and I lift and then make myself food, go to bed and do it again. So I don't mind spending 2 hours warming up to a heavy squat anymore. I have the consistency now. I have something I didn't have before. Before I used to skip sessions, before I used to skip movements. The last year and a half, I have hit every fucking session in this gym for 2.5 hours to get good at a snatch, to get good at a clean and jerk. And if I put that same consistency into this, that is something I lacked before. If I put that same consistency into deadlifts, into squats, into bench, I think I can pull that 350, or I can push that 315, and I can pull that 600. Squats, I want a 500-pound squat. My best squat on competition was 462. I wasn't that far off. I think going back to the point, so what am I going to do? In this channel, you're going to see a couple of things change. One, probably less uploads because I don't think I'll get back to my impressive lifts until a little bit. But two, more importantly, is that I'm already, my fucking hands, shaking. More importantly, I have lost so much weight I needed to buy a new belt. So I have an SBD belt on the way, a large. Because my Pioneer adjustable lever belt, I have drilled holes into it and I just don't want to fuck with that. I mean, I've used it today for my first strength session, but I don't want to fuck with that. I got an official SBD belt, something that's easier to move, and it's actually my size versus drilling more holes. So that's coming in the expected review, which is kind of exciting. It's my first SBD belt. Secondly, I bought some adjustable dumbbells, and people might be wondering, why the fuck are you buying dumbbells, right? So here's my plan for bench specifically. On bench, my biggest weak points were always my triceps. And, you know, I've been watching a lot of people on YouTube, and they have a good point about this. It's like, you can bench all you fucking want. You can close grip all you want. You can incline all you want. You can fucking do floor press all you want. At the end of the fucking day, the reason gym bros, i.e. people who do bro splits like arms, legs, chest days, all that bullshit, the reason they can bench pretty fucking decently is because they have a dedicated arm day, right? Here in this gym, I don't have any way to do a dedicated arm day. I mean, unless I'm doing fucking barbell curls. But like, kind of going back is like, if I can dedicate 2 days of the week to like, not crazy arm work, nothing that like affects my training, but if I have the dumbbells to work some tricep kickbacks, if I have the dumbbells to work some bicep curls, if I have dumbbells to work some upper back work, like 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 20 reps twice a week in conjunction with some cardio so I don't get too fucking big again. Well, plus my diet's better than it was before. But so that's kind of where I'm at. Like if I bring back if I get the dumbbells, which I already bought, plus the strict benching, I'm expecting beefy arms, and then I'm expecting my bench to kind of explode. I'm going to do something I've never done, which is direct arm work, plus all the benching. So I'm expecting something. I'm expecting 275 plus by the end of 2 cycles of strength. My first cycle is really dedicated to coming back. And then my second cycle is going to be dedicated to getting some PRs. For deadlift, the cleans and the snatches have helped. But here we're going to dedicate ourselves to fucking regular deadlifts, for a while, I've been in the clean and jerk sessions. I do stiff leg deadlifts, which were pretty good. But here we're gonna dedicate pause work because I get stuck after the knee. So if we can fucking hammer that position, I'll be okay. And the return of the deadlift shoes. Although I will continue using my Adidas, my legacy Reebok Legacy lifters because they're good shoes. And honestly, I just low bar squatted in them, and it's fucking great how stable it feels compared to the shit I used to use. Yep, and we're going to bring back the SSB for squats, and we're going to see what happens. And we're going to use our belt squat first time in a long time. I'm actually excited. We'll see how we get. So yeah, that's just an update. Olympic lifting is gone. I think I don't want to make any promises. If all goes well within the first 2 cycles, I kind of want to hit a powerlifting meet to see where I am at this lighter body weight. Maybe in 6 months, maybe at the end of the year in December at a winter bash or something. But we'll have to see. As of right now, that's where we're at. So, peace.